All right, here we go. Welcome everybody to another episode of RJ's Lives. We got our great panel here with us tonight. I want to thank everybody that's in the chat and everybody that's going to watch this afterwards. This is fantastic. I really enjoy doing these things. I know our guests do too. As you can see, today we have Jersey Knife Guy, Pete himself.
Hello, everyone.
Tom from Knife Delights. We have Isaac, the Noob Backwoodsman, Thrifty Kniffy, and Big J himself. All right, guys. So hello to everybody. I see David Curls in the chat. What's the point? EDC, Dean P, El Cap Addict, B Shady 22, all kinds of guys. What's the point? EDC, if I didn't say it already. So good morning, guys, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Good evening.
Hello, everyone.
To everybody.
Yep.
So I think just about everybody in my audience knows you, Pete. But let's talk to Isaac and Big J and kind of see what they're about. Go ahead, Isaac. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us about your channel, and just a couple little things like that.
All right, sure. My name's Isaac. I go by Isaac the Noob Backwoodsman, just because outdoors and woods things are still kind of a newer interest in my life, and that's kind of what got me into knives as well, because if you're going to be outdoors, you need a good knife on you.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm Big J Knives. Started YouTube close to 6 months ago. Always been into the outdoors, but really started getting into the blades real heavy in 06, and thought after watching all the knife content on YouTube and really enjoying the channels, I thought, why not try my hand at this and start filming some outdoor content, some sharpening content. But then I slowly moved into that tabletop realm once winter hit. So a lot of tabletop content for now, but I'm hoping as soon as this weather turns, I can get back to the river and in the woods. So look for that.
Yeah, that sounds good. I know Tom's waiting for that weather to break too, so he can go back to his outdoor filming.
Oh, yeah. I miss that.
Yeah. How about you, Pete? You've done some outdoor stuff. I remember you doing your fires. Some of them were outdoors when the weather permitted. And then you had the axe video where you were thinking about going to that.
You remember that one, huh?
I do.
Oh. Yeah, I dabbled in it for a little while. I wanted to do more content. I still do want to do more content, as everybody does on the outdoor stuff and getting out there. And I really enjoy making the fires. And like I said, once this weather breaks and everything, I intend to get some real nice fires going. And I'd like to just do some, just show people about this different ways to start fires and primitive fires. I really enjoy doing them primitive fires when I could strike one up, but that is so satisfying. Williams Knife Life got me involved in, he introduced me into that primitive fire with the flint and steel.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, if you could get one of those going, it's not the hardest thing, but it takes practice. But once you get a fire lit off of flint and steel, I mean, I get super satisfaction off that. And it finally becomes, a raging, fire. It's wonderful. It really is.
Just don't do it in your garage anymore.
My garage. I know. Yeah, my wife comes home. She smells it. She's like, I see her at, what are you doing in this garage again? Because after I shut the video off, that garage is pretty much full of smoke.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah.
I made my wife watch that yesterday.
Oh, really?
On the way to
town. That fatwood really smokes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many. I know Isaac's familiar with fatwood, but man, you light that stuff up and it smokes big time.
Yeah. Black smoke.
Yes.
It's like you're burning a tire.
Yes, it does. Exactly like that.
You recall that New Year's video, the time I did the fatwood? it was a long time ago. It was like the beginning of I guess it would have been the beginning of 22. And
I don't remember that one.
I
Yeah,
don't
and
remember that one.
yeah, I did it one time, and that was it. Because I was like, the neighbors are gonna have me arrested if I do that again.
And I think it's therapeutic as you're preparing it, like doing the shavings and just being outside and doing that is, to me, it's like sharpening. I get in my own. To me, it's whatever people call that when you take time for yourself or whatever. But
kind of like a zen moment, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then then actually getting the fire, but preparing it, sharpening, to me, that's my just quiet time.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's very fun. It's very therapeutic. Like you said, especially with the shavings and doing the, when you're getting them good curls. Oh, I love it personally. But that's what I want to get back to doing. I really want to, this summer, I want to hit that pretty good because it's fun content and people like watching that. And, I'm going to give it a go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, well, I'm gonna be honest. Like, that's kind of what drew me into the watching a lot of the tabletop stuff was the bushcraft stuff I was watching. Then I slowly started getting these hits for these knife videos, and that's probably where I come upon Pete's channel. Then slowly everybody else on here, I was just started watching everybody. So yeah, and now not so much bushcraft anymore, but more knife related stuff. So
and something at the end. I mean, and I'll close it out. I'll let you guys go from here, but something, it does get a little boring at times, always just having showing a knife on the with your hands, and it's fun for the most part, but every once in a while to see a video that like you said, outdoors or a fire video or something, it makes it a little bit more interesting instead of always just looking at a knife. You know what I mean?
Pete, we've got someone in the chat not sure what fat wood is. Would one of you like to explain what fat wood is?
Yeah, Isaac, do you want to take that one, buddy?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
So fat wood comes from mostly pine trees. May be some other evergreen species that would produce it, but what it is when a branch or even a whole tree kind of dies, the sap that you can see on any pine tree will build up inside of that branch and make it a really hard substance within that branch. And if you break it off, you'll see like this dark red portion of this wood, and it's pine wood soaked in gasoline, pretty much is what it is, but it's all natural. So yeah, and it's fantastic. You can buy boxes of the stuff at
that's
Walmart.
what I do. Yeah.
It's much easier than going out and harvesting it. Like in the woods where I hang out, there actually isn't a single pine tree in there. So if I want fat wood, I got to go to Walmart and pick up a box.
That's exactly what I do too. Yes, but very well said. Yes.
Yeah, the forest preserve don't like us out there chopping trees down.
That's true too.
Right. Yeah.
They frown on
what's
that.
Funny is they don't sell any of that at my Home Depot or Walmart's out here. I guess because it's so dry. They don't want anybody busting out any fires.
How about that?
Yeah, they want to make it hard for us, but that's okay. They still sell Bics.
Yeah, there you go.
And yeah, stuff like that, and Vaseline, or that's quite the ignition thing too. I know a big thing in like survival kits is you take some Vaseline and kind of melt it down a little bit and toss in some cotton balls, and you got a heck of a fire starter there.
Yeah,
I was just going to say that. I was actually going to ask Isaac if he's ever used those. So that's perfect.
I have,
man.
absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah, because I got some in my fire kit.
Yeah, it's great way. You can probably have that stuff in the house right now. Then you can have a perfect fire starter.
Yeah, it does light up and it stays lit for a while.
If anybody you guys are familiar with, there was like a whole couple of weeks where William was making fires in his house.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he'd throw them in the
in the fireplace.
in the fireplace really quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was teaching me a lot of stuff, but mostly about not doing what he was doing. But the accelerant thing with the cotton ball, I think it was something I learned on that show with Joe Ted-Eye. You guys familiar with that Survivor show?
Yeah,
Yes,
That's
I am.
one to watch for everybody, not just you guys, but everybody in the chat. The show where you had to go out and literally survive in that way, and you learn so much just from watching those guys. But Joe Ted-Eye actually made a video from Smoky Mountain Knife Works too. So if you guys can find that, you'll know who I'm talking about. He took like a video where he was shooting himself inside Smoky Mountain Knife Works, talking about the store and that. But he and another guy would go around, and they had like particular tasks they had to accomplish, and all of it was about survival. They put them in different locations, like in the desert. They put them in the wilderness, and they put them in the Amazon. It was an amazing show. So if you can find that, I'm sure the reruns are out there. Check that out for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I like stuff like that. I find it very interesting to watch stuff like that. I love it. I love all that.
Yeah.
And you learn a lot. You learn a whole lot.
Yeah.
The guy that you were going to search for, that Joe Ted-Eye, he was actually, I believe, I want to say special ops. So he was definitely military.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he learned a lot.
Yeah, I know some years back when I was. Oh, go ahead, Thomas.
I just want to take a moment to thank our moderators. We have Michael Morgan out there and Gary, the Last Ranger, out there doing moderation for us. So thank you guys for being here.
Thank you guys.
And
Thank
I
you
wanna
guys so much.
Yep. Well, I want to welcome all our viewers. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. It gets hard at times, but thanks everybody for joining us. So,
Yes.
go ahead,
thank
Isaac.
you.
All right. Yeah, I was just going to say, when I was in college, a show called Man vs. Wild came out on TV with Bear Grylls, and it blew up, and that really started an interest in the outdoors for me back in, I don't know, maybe 2007, 8 or so, around there.
Yeah. Yep. That's the one I'm used to seeing.
Fishing.
Yep.
Yeah. I bought my first knives because of that show. Yeah, so that was a big influence for me. Those TV shows, like Bear Grylls.
Me too. That was the only one I was basically really used to watching, is that Bear Grylls. Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with that Joe Ted-Eye. I have to look that up after we're.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, he was in the later seasons of Dual Survivor or Dual Survival.
Okay.
Hard to say all those things.
I know the name of that show. Yeah.
Yeah. So all that fun stuff.
Okay.
Somebody's ringing.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn that off.
Oh,
that's an ET calling.
Yeah,
Hey,
really.
Tom, if you'll unmute yourself, I'll be glad to show your knife. You gonna unmute yourself? That's why he's Tommy the Mute.
How does he do that?
I was trained by Thrifty. This is gonna shock everybody. So
I'm shocked.
I hope everybody's sitting down. I bought a modern folding knife.
Good for you.
Yesterday, the missus and I went to one of our larger cities here in the state and just spent a day hanging out. And I came into, we have what's called Fleet Farm stores here. They're really huge farm and home stores. Their outdoor department rivals a lot of sporting goods stores. And I was looking at all their knives, and this is the Buck Sprint Pro Ops. And they had it marked at $80, and I got on my phone and I checked prices, and it was listed for like $140, $150 or something like that.
Yeah, 80 is a steal for that.
And I thought, I can't pass it up. So this is just a great knife. Nice G10 scales to it. I like the coloring.
That is a beautiful
got
knife, Tom.
Deep gray pocket clip there. I like how it's kind of cut out there. It doesn't have jimping, but with that cut out, you can get it
Yeah.
So real close up, and it's all also contoured out there. So if you're holding it back a little further, I don't know if this is Buck's only knife with ball bearings, but I think someone said this was the first one that came out with ball bearings, the Sprint. So yeah, it's
Oh,
flipper tab. Up, save my foot.
careful there.
There goes the
Save my
finger.
foot.
You.
So it is a liner lock, flipper tab. I can normally open it without having to flick it any, but really nice and smooth. The G10, I don't know how to describe it. It is just, for one, it's contoured really nice, and it is really smooth, but yet it's grippy. So I don't know how to explain that. But yeah, it's just a wonderful knife.
Really looks nice, Tom. Congratulations. Good pickup on that, Tom.
Fantastic price.
Yeah.
Awesome buy.
I've never seen that one before, to be honest with you, Tom. I haven't seen that one yet.
And I haven't done the research on it. I don't know if this was only done for 1 year, the Ops model, because there's other models that, there's jimping and stuff on the top, but it's not the Ops. It's a Sprint, but it's not the Sprint Ops.
Right.
So this one is in the Pro Series, so it has the S30V steel. And some of them have S35VN, I believe. And it's got jimping and stuff, so it's a little different blade and stuff on it. Depending on how you want to look at it, I think officially they call it like a modified drop point, but others might say it's a modified Tanto, tomatoes type thing. But
Reverse Tanto.
Kind of a modified spade blade, would you say?
Yeah, however you want to call it. So, yeah, just a beautiful knife.
That is very nice, man. Congratulations on that. Ought to go nice with the collection, Tom.
Yes, it will. Like I said, I don't buy a lot of modern knives, but I saw the price on this, and I thought, man, I think that's a steal.
It sure is.
Sure.
Good deal.
What store did you say you got that at?
Fleet Farm.
Fleet Farm. Okay.
It's kind of like a Rural King, only like 5 times larger.
Okay. We have the Farm and Fleet, but we don't have the Fleet Farm. So
no, they're called Fleet Farm.
Yeah.
Their color is orange, and they have like great big silos with orange caps on top of the silos.
Gotcha.
Huh. I think it's called Blair's or Blaine's Fleet Farm officially or something.
We have Blaine's Farm and Fleet, and it's smaller. It's more the size of Rural King, but it sounds like yours is massive.
No, even that. I know the store you're talking about. These Fleet Farms are huge.
Yeah,
their outdoor department. I mean, their firearms section is bigger than a lot of firearm stores. I mean, it's huge.
Speaking of huge, it looks like Isaac has something there to.
He's got something huge.
Yeah. I just wanted to mimic Tom there. This is also in that Buck Sprint Pro series.
Oh.
Now, it's not the Ops version, but this is. Sorry, I'm kind of moving out of the frame there. Maybe hold it in this hand. But this is also a Sprint Pro, and it's got brown burlap micarta. I know my lighting's not the best here. Different point than the Ops. And it's got, instead of just that dip up here, we got some file work. If you can see that. But yeah, these Sprint Pros, they've been out for a few years, and they just came out for 2023, some additional colors in that Ops series. So if anybody wants to check those out, I'm not sure if they make that blue and black one anymore. I think they switched to more earth tone colors, like coyote and OD green. But it's a great knife. Liner lock.
I've never seen it before. I mean, it looks like a fantastic knife.
Yeah. It's a decent size. I think it's a 3 1/4 inch blade, so it's not big, but not super small either.
Yeah.
Light carry, see through there. Yeah, it's been a good knife.
Yeah, I want to look into them.
Oh, just real quick, David Curley, he's got the info here. It's called Mills Fleet Farm.
Okay.
Oh.
Mills Fleet Farm.
And that Sprint, I had the original version. You could pick up the original Sprint Select for about $50. But my sister got a job working at one of them places that bring in a bunch of old Amazon stuff. So she'd constantly open boxes. And she knows I'm a knife maniac, so she begged me for a knife that was safe for her to use. So I gifted her my Buck Sprint Select, and those are smooth running little knives. I was highly impressed with it, and I hated to get rid of it, but she needed one, so I gifted it to her. So those are awesome blades.
Yeah.
Well, I have one to show because Rick from Warthog said, Tom, that when you handle a knife like that you might need Band-Aids. And here's a knife that does come with Band-Aids, and this is the only Finch that I own. This is the Finch Roadrunner.
Oh, there you go.
All of the Finch knives come with a Band-Aid in it. But yeah, this is
funny.
the one with the yellow kind of composite handle material. It's really cool. And 154 cm blade, nice and pointy. Definitely one that I enjoy, and it has that really nice shake shut action to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it just drops.
Those Finch knives are really constructed beautifully. I mean, they're put together so fantastic, and they're fit and finish and everything, and they're beautiful knives. They are beautiful. Big
Absolutely.
Red has every one of them.
Yes, he does. He's actually trying to get them all. He's trying to collect all the different variations and stuff. So he's going back and trying to get all of them. So yeah, it's kind of interesting watching his collection and his hunt on that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I saw you show one a while back, RJ. That was like a blue and yellow color, like the Ukraine flag.
Yeah, that was the Finch Halo.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is a cool knife. That was part of the Apex pass around, so I don't actually have that one. So it just went through. It went through me to somebody else.
All right. Yeah, they're kind of a classic meets modern type of knife. Yeah, they're
what they
real
use.
cool.
They kind of take a traditional style. They put some modern materials with it. They put their own kind of design take on it. Like that one I did, the Chernobyl Ant and the Halo. They're both kind of similar, but they're kind of like modern sodbuster type knives, and then they have the like this Roadrunner. I mean, that's like historically like the old switchblades, that they had, back in the 50s. So, Roadrunner, and then, so this shape of a blade, you have the dual little guards and stuff on it. So it's, they just start putting their take on stuff, like even the Holiday, kind of like a knife that Doc Holliday would have, the Hatfield that just came out, gun stock pattern relating back to the Hatfield and McCoy stuff. And then the year pattern ones, they have like the 1929, the 1934 and stuff like that. Those are actually tied to the national parks. So when they opened different national parks and stuff, those years, that's what that's all about, so kind of an interesting thing. They got just a really cool company going on there, really cool vibe going on. So
they do. I only have I've only got one Finch. I think it's the Harvester.
Oh yeah.
I've got it in the yellow covers. But just it's a fantastic knife, really is.
Yeah. Well, I did want to do a channel shout out to I don't see him in the chat right now, but Matt Sawyer, who you guys may or may not know, he comes to our chat quite a bit. He just started up his first YouTube channel, and it's called Slip Joint Sawyer. So definitely go over there and give him a sub. I think he's only got like about 20 people that are subbed to him, but we should definitely see if we can go ahead and double his numbers at least. We got almost 30 people in the chat. Let's get him well on his way to 100, and then of course, like I said, Big J, we're trying to get you up to 1,000. We're gonna keep on pushing you, and Isaac, you too. Where are you at right now, Isaac?
I think I just hit 1,700.
I'm right. You're neck and neck with me. You're neck and neck with me. It's 17.
Wow. Well, he passed us all up. Well, we'll get you to 2,000. How's that?
There you go.
you and Pete.
Yeah.
We'll get you guys to 2,000, and then me and Tom are in the rear.
There you go.
We're coming on up. Okay, there you go.
Ooh, there it is.
I just want to show this to Tom because I know he's a buck maniac. So I got this little 102. I don't know. It's an 87 model, but I also got the sheath for it.
Nice.
But
Wow.
I actually picked this up the street. I was buying a welder at a yard sale, and I went up to pay for the welder, and the guy had this and a case toothpick on the table for $5. Actually, he wanted 10 for this one, but I needed some money to get some food after my workout, and I'm like, I'll give you 5 for it. And I got this knife with this sheath for $5.
Wow.
Now, it didn't look this clean when I got it, but you know, I'm pretty decent at cleaning the knife up, but it didn't need a lot of work. I don't think it had ever been used or even sharpened really. So yeah, I just want to show this to Tom because I know he enjoys buck knives, and I've just kind of gotten into them a little bit more because, you know, me and Boston kind of hit it off. So he's got me looking and picking different stuff up, but I just figured I just wanted to show that to Tom. And
I like that sheath. That sheath is beautiful.
That's
yeah, it's
very
got the
nice.
102 on the sheath, the 102 custom. And all I did was I just took some Obanoffs, I think maybe 2 or 3 coats for the sheath.
Yeah.
And it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, that sheath is awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
is very nice.
I love my yard sales I hit up. So
There you
you
go.
never know what you're going to find, guys.
Oh, Pete.
Oh, you want to go? Go ahead,
Nope,
Tom.
nope, nope. Go ahead, Pete.
So who's going next? We want Pete to
Pete.
go and then Isaac? Okay. We'll do that.
I know that knife.
Do you, Isaac?
Sure do.
What is the name of this?
That is the Mesa, it looks like.
Yes, I couldn't remember that name. Thank you so much. This was a Walmart find for me.
Yeah.
It was $40 years ago. But what happened with this knife is I beat the heck out of this knife, and it got so destroyed, the look of it. I sanded it with like 1,000 grit and brought it to that's sharp. I got a polished edge of the whole blade, and I sharpened the blade out on it. But let me tell you, my Carta scales, I don't know what this steel is. Probably, what would you say, a 420 or something?
Yeah, they made that in their 420 HC.
Okay. But one of the most fantastic knives that I bought, this was a Walmart buy for $40. And you know what I said to myself? I said, you know something? I'm going to go back for that price, and I'm going to buy a couple more of them just in case I beat it up. But I never went back. I just wanted to buy another couple of them because for the $40 with this micarta and just the construction of it, I thought it was well worth the $40.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So this is I thought that you guys would like to check this piece out.
Yeah.
And tell me the name of it because I could not think of the name of this knife.
Yeah, it's the Mesa. They've been discontinued for several years now.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I love my buck knives.
I know you do. I know you have quite a few of them. Yes.
And it's got that thumb ramp similar to like a Bark River, how Bark River puts those thumb ramps on a lot of their blades.
It really does.
Right.
It does have that nice thumb ramp there with that jimping up there. Yes. Have you seen that one, Tom, before?
No.
You've never seen the Mesa.
That looked like a compadre is what I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
Looks pretty similar.
Okay.
All right, Isaac. Let's see what you got.
Well, Tom just mentioned the compadre, and that's this here. This is kind of what Buck replaced that Mesa with in their lineup. You got, I think it's a 4.5-inch blade of 5160 steel, and they got the micarta scales on it. And that's kind of what replaced the Mesa. Now, you can't get these at Walmart or anything. But,
no.
yeah.
Man, that's a beautiful. You guys are getting me onto this buck thing, man. You are turning me on to this buck knife.
It's
Yeah.
all Tom's fault. I totally
It
blame
is.
Tom on this.
Tom came onto the scene and started talking about these buck knives. Now
Yeah.
everybody's into these buck knives now.
That's
I'm
right.
telling you.
Yeah, this one started it all. The Buck Model 110.
There it is.
Everybody probably has one of these.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this knife, it's just a knife that I always come back to. It's just a classic and feels good. Now
That's-
that classic meets modern, like with Finch. Buck came out with this last year, the Buck 110 Sport model, where they put
Yeah.
this big thumb stud on. We got a lighter weight aluminum frame and green micarta scales and the S30V steel.
Yeah.
Real nice. Real
Yes,
nice.
sir. They're
Pocket
doing good.
clip.
I love that one, man. I love that.
Yeah, this is a great knife, and now that we're talking about Buck, I want to mention to y'all there is a Buck Collectors Club that you can join, and there's a $20 annual fee to be in the Collectors Club. But once you get your Collectors Club ID number, you can go to the Buck website and register for what they call their Industry Pro access to their website, which gets you fantastic discounts on knives. Basically the wholesale price.
Man, that's good to know. I'm going to do that's
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah,
to
I
know.
didn't know that.
I didn't
Anyone
know that.
can do it.
Damn.
And is that
Damn.
advertised on their website where you can just go on and just kind of sign up for that?
Not really. It's kind of something you got to be in the know.
Yeah. Got a big
Yeah,
for it.
anybody can join the Collectors Club, and then you get that Industry Pro access. You can order direct from Buck, so no chance of any counterfeits or anything like that. And
Yeah.
free shipping over $100, and with that discount, you might throw 20 knives in there. And
Wow,
Yeah.
man.
Only
Wow.
Jersey does that. Buys it
Yeah.
20 at a time.
Right.
yeah.
If you don't believe me, ask his wife.
Oh, she'll give you an earful. I'll tell you that. She'll. Oh yeah, she'll talk to you about some knives.
Yeah. Here you go, Tom. You've been holding that knife for a while, and that's part of the Collectors Club right there, if I remember right.
It is, yeah. And I am a member. I just joined this year.
Okay.
It's a great thing, and you get a lot of great history and information. That's really what I liked it for. This was an antique store find, and this is called the Mini Mentor, and it was a limited edition run, probably around 2002 or 2003. It's called the Running Deer, and the cutout there is 24 karat gold plated.
Oh, neat.
And then,
That is
and then
so
it
nice.
has burl wood handles to it. And the Mini Mentor, of course, is not in production anymore. But it looked to me like it was a budget knife with just some GRN handles to it. But it's got some jimping there and everything. It's like a small hunter or maybe even a caper knife here.
Yeah, it's very.
And then
nice.
it came in this sheath here. It doesn't say Buck on it, but it just has a Buck on it.
Huh, nice.
Nice.
So
I'll
this
tell you
is,
what, Tom, it doesn't look like a budget knife to me, though, Tom.
no,
It looks like-
no, because this is a limited edition.
Yeah, that's a nice upgrade there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
I found this for about $75 in a local antique shop. I've seen them on eBay starting out the bid around $250. So
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Huh. Very nice.
And you're welcome, Matt. We're glad that you started a channel. And yes, we do like to give out shout outs and support everybody in the community for sure. So you guys, I think everybody here all does that sort of stuff. We all give shout outs. We all try to support everybody as much as possible.
Yes.
Okay. Looks like Isaac's ready with another one.
Yeah, this
Out there.
another Buck knife here. This one's also been discontinued. This another nice, great knife with Kydex sheath and that 5160 steel. This is called the model number 245 Mattwood Go. It was designed by former Navy SEAL Matt Leathers.
Okay.
and it's got his name and those 3 dots, his triple tap signature calling card on all the bad guys over in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he made a knife like this. He forged it in theater out of probably a leaf spring and in a mailbox for his forge.
Wow.
And then he sadly passed away. He was lost at sea in a training endeavor some years ago, and his dad took this design to Buck, and they started making them for several years. And they actually some of the funds went to a Navy SEAL charity, and Buck actually gifted one of these to each Bud's grad during the time they made these, but they've been discontinued for 2-3 years now.
That's a beautiful. It's another.
Isaac, I'm glad you got one of those. I've always wanted one of those. Not only because it looks like it to be a terrific knife, but just what that knife stands for.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. The story behind it is fantastic, and it's another Buck knife that I've never seen before.
Yeah, that's these I don't know. They put a really high price tag on these when they were available, and they're kind of the same now. Their MSRP on these was the model number to 145.
Oh,
but
boy.
Yeah, you can get them at you could have got it at dealers for much less than that, but
yeah,
and they pop up on eBay every now and then. That's where I happen to get this, but it's real nice. My card is scales. He got this crushing implement there at the end. It's not a big knife. It's only a 4-inch blade.
Right,
so you
right.
Can carry it about anywhere.
Yeah. But I tell you what, it looks like it's ready for action. I mean, it looks stout, it looks well built, and it looks like it could definitely get some work done.
Absolutely, yeah. It's got that tough 5160 carbon steel.
That's a spring steel. Isn't that 5160 spring steel?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. This is a great knife,
It is.
Nice Kydex sheath with the what do you call these?
The
I forget the name now all of a sudden.
Alta clip?
Yeah.
It's not Alta clip, it's Oh well, maybe I'll think of it eventually.
I know, I do the same thing.
Somebody in the chat probably knows.
Yeah, they know.
Well, I got a question for
great
Isaac.
Knife. Yeah.
Isaac, now I always ask Boston this. Do you have the 184 Buckmaster? I've always been
I do not.
intrigued. Okay, since I've seen a video on that, everyone I run into, like you're showing a lot of bucks, and it seems like you're well versed in them. So I was I would love to have one of those.
Yeah, I'd love to have one of those. Those were official issue to Navy SEALs back in the 80s, at least for a period of time.
Yes.
A lot of them weren't huge fans of them because they're very heavy and bulky. There's a great podcast author, Jack Carr. I don't know if you've read his books or seen the Terminalist show on Amazon, but there's a guy named Kevin Holland who was a Navy SEAL who talks about in the one podcast episode. It's Kevin Holland and Daniel Winkler. And Kevin Holland talks about being issued the Buckmaster when he first joined the Navy SEALs back in, I think, the late 1980s. And he called it the Buck Monster.
Wow.
So big. Yeah.
Well, the story I heard was that you were supposed to tie something to it and use it as a grapple hook. But they were like, you're throwing a sharp object up in the air because it has those 2 hooks.
That apparently is just a story. That wasn't the original intent of the design, and I can't remember what I heard now was the original intent. But
when they were ashore, if they got their raft ashore, they could slam it down into the sand and they could anchor their raft or small boat with it.
Yeah,
was one of the reasons.
Yeah, probably an anchor because of how heavy those things were. Yeah, but I'd love to have one. There's actually a new version of it in the works. You can find pictures of it. Just look up like the Buckmaster 2.0 or something like that. But I don't think it's nearly as cool looking as the old Buckmaster 184 from the 80s. And that was actually designed by CJ Buck, current CEO
and they're pricey. The originals, I looked at them just to kind of see what they bring.
Yeah, you'd spend a good $500-600
Wow.
for sure. Yeah, they're highly collectible. Yeah, very cool. Rambo style hollow handle survival knife with the saw teeth on the top. Yeah, I wish I had one, but they're just so expensive.
It was very much a knife of its time.
Yeah,
because I think Tom will remember, because we were both in the service during that time, and that was a big thing. The Rambo knives, the survival knives. Even when Buck redesigned, when they went to the M9 bayonet, and it was kind of patterned on the Soviet with the wire cutter sheath and all that kind of stuff. But very much that was just the name of the. Everybody wanted something that was black and tactical and all this other stuff. It just was. It was a very high speed, low drag environment.
Yeah. No, I'm reading a book right now called The Edge Master's Handbook by a guy named Len McDougall.
Oh, and I wanted to get that.
It's great read so far. But he talks about in there how it was the late Chuck Buck's goal to have like the official Navy SEAL knife, and I guess he had it for a little bit with the Buckmaster, but then they moved on to stuff like this, the SOG, and there was some other stuff in there as well.
Here, we'll bring up so everybody can take a look at that SOG since you got
that's right. You're another SOG fan too. I know you follow SOG. Yeah.
They had a pretty bad reputation for a bit with making a lot of cheap Chinese stuff. But and that's what I knew them for, and I stayed away from the brand for a really long time. But then I started reading a book about the actual SOG unit in Vietnam, and it brought up like that Bowie knife, and I didn't get one. I didn't get that one out here, but that Bowie knife has like this basic shape. It's just a little bit bigger, but the SOG Seal Pups. This is the Seal Pup. The Seal Pup has partial serrations down here, and that was actually issued to Navy SEALs.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's a nice piece. That SOG Pup, man. That was a good knife, man. They sold a lot of those.
Oh yeah, and you can still get them about anywhere.
Yeah. It looks like it's a nice looking knife, man. Really nice looking.
This one's a satin finish. They're discontinued, but you can still get it with the black coating. And they're made in Aus-8 steel. I'm sure there were plenty of military personnel that had one of these in the past 20 years over in the Middle East.
Yeah, sure.
They're real solid knives.
They look it. It looks it.
Yeah, they're real good. SOG's got some top tier stuff, and then they also got some super cheap nonsense. Yeah, I hear you.
We have a question.
Do you guys watch the SOG Grunt?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've known him for a couple years now from SOG group on Facebook, and he kind of fuels the SOG knife once and stuff. Yeah, I mean I've gotten real big into SOG. Like this one was like the first one I bought. It's a big tactical folder, the Seal XR, and it's man,
awesome. That's a beast of a knife, man. I always look at that. It's so man.
It's 3/16 of an inch thick. Weighs like 8 or 9 ounces. Big handle. Full steel liners. It's got what used to be patented by Benchmade, like their Axis lock. Flips open grade S35 VN steel. And
I like that one, man.
There's not too many of them. SOG makes this in the United States, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The SOG Grunt takes his and throws them into his target out in his yard.
Yeah,
he'll take his folders and sling them into the target. So it proves how tough those are, honestly.
Here's another favorite SOG as well. This one discontinued, but this is one that they made in Seki, Japan. This is the Tomcat 3.0. So there was a 2.0 and the original Tomcat that came out in the late 80s, but this is real nice
Man.
recurve blade.
Wow.
VG10 steel made in Japan. It's got a craton rubberized grip and what they called their arc lock.
Right.
It's pretty much the same thing as like the Benchmade Axis lock and what they call their XR lock now. But instead of straight up and down, it's in a curve, so they call it the arc lock. So they didn't run into any patent infringement from Benchmade at the time. But this is an awesome knife.
Man, another fantastic looking piece, man.
Yeah,
really.
This knife is a beauty. I was very lucky to get this on an Amazon warehouse deal like a year ago. And if you don't know, it's like somebody returned it and Amazon resell it at a discounted price.
Yeah,
because these go for like $300 on eBay nowadays because they've been discontinued for like 2 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta start looking at more SOGs because the ones you've shown, man, they're beautiful pieces. What you've shown so far, they're gorgeous.
That one that Warthog's been showing is awesome too.
Oh yes,
yes. And one more thing about SOG, the actual military unit. There's a podcast called SOGcast.
Yes,
definitely listen to that. That's the real guys telling their stories about the secret war in Vietnam. It's super interesting. And those guys are, just amazing that they lived through all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Actually, you know what? I did have that buoy sitting over here.
Nice. Well, let's take a look at that.
I did get it out.
That's my new favorite buoy.
That's the one. That's the one that Warthog just bought.
Yeah. Rick's been putting that one up.
Yep.
Yeah. This was the knife that SOG as a corporation first started making back in 1986. Their founder, a guy named Spencer Frazier, I guess saw one of the knives from Vietnam at a gun show and he really liked it.
Yeah, isn't it kind of, if I remember right, they based it off of the Randall Bowie knives that he was making back in
and I know
60s,
in
early 70s.
Yeah, for the war effort, they made these in Japan, and they were all unmarked because of the secrecy of that SOG unit. They didn't want them traced back to anywhere. And when guy Spencer Frazier, who started SOG in the 80s, he went to outsource this to a knife company in Japan. I believe it was Hattori, if I'm not mistaken. And the guy who was making knives there in the 80s, his dad was the one who made the knives for the SOG Special Forces unit in Vietnam. So a lot of cool connection there. And
man, that's awesome.
Yeah, these are pretty collectible too. The vintage, the SOG S1 buoy, they're called. This is the buoy 2.0. The original ones, they sell for hundreds of dollars as well.
Okay.
Highly
because I've always looked at that one. Oh, isn't that one like? Now you could correct me, but isn't that one roughly like $80 or $90? Can you get them for?
Probably about doubled.
Really?
Yeah,
I must be looking. Okay, I must have been looking at
these
something.
Command a good price.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
that Seal Pup Elite I showed earlier. Those are about 80 to 90 retail.
Okay.
This one, you can get it for like as low as 140 some places, but
okay.
Yeah, these are becoming hard to come by because SOG was, you may know, was bought out by a bigger corporation, GSM Outdoors, a little over a year ago, and I don't think they have made any of these since GSM took over. So most dealers are out of stock on these, and they're cool knives. They're made in AUS-8 steel.
Yeah,
it's got a nice sheath, leather. It's got little pouch with a sharpening stone in there. So
yeah.
That's
a gorgeous knife. I've always seen them with that. I love that stacked leather handles. Something about those stacked leather handles that just draw me. I love it. I love that.
Yeah. Now they do make a version of this same blade with a rubberized grip as well. They call it the Tech Buoy, and it has a Kydex-like sheath. And then this is kind of a newer iteration of it. This is called the SOG Pillar.
Okay.
You still got that blade shape there with like the curved back and the choil. But this is S35 VN steel. We got micarta handles. And I don't know, you probably can't see this with the lighting, but that's got some sculpting in there. It's
Okay.
full tang.
Yeah.
Real nice knife.
Man.
They make these in the United States as well.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at SOG. I mean, wow, you're changing my mind on SOGs, man.
Yeah, they did a complete rebranding, probably a good 3 years ago now.
Okay.
And they upgraded a lot of models, kind of redesigned them. There was this guy there, his name's Jonathan Wegner. He was their VP of brand, and he really improved SOG from being known as like the cheap Chinese stuff to better Chinese stuff, and a lot of stuff in Taiwan and some stuff like I showed made in the United States. They upgraded a lot of steel from AUS 8 to D2, which will be a little tougher, hold an edge a little better.
Yeah.
And they did good. They did good. And then GSM bought the company and laid everybody off, and we'll see what the future holds for the SOG brand.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just like Cold Steel, right?
Yeah,
exactly. It's same company that owns them both now.
Okay.
Yeah. What do we got there, Big J?
Well, it's not a Bowie knife, but this is a Bark River Bravo 1.
Wow.
And
classic.
I think it's 3V steel. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but this was actually Mike Stewart, I guess, got with the Recon Marine teams and designed this blade. And it has a little brother called the Gunny. Basically, this is a 4-inch blade, 1/4-inch thick stock. Got some red liners in there, but this was made for Recon. The original ones have a thumb ramp, but I'm not a big fan of the thumb ramp because I just like to lay my thumb there.
Yes.
So, but this is just green micarta, nice palm swell, very comfortable in the hand. But this is just something that was designed for Marine recon units. Now, I wouldn't want to carry this. I'm going to be honest with you. It is kind of heavy, but it's just a beautiful blade. And the Gunny, its little brother, the Gunny, exactly the same. It's just a smaller vert. It's like 3 3/8, and it's a little thinner. I believe it's 0.156, where this right here is a 0.21, just a hair under a 1/4 inch. So this was my first Bark River I ever purchased, and I never even opened the sheath. I got it. I've seen how beautiful it was, and I immediately put it up and never used it to do anything. So this is just kind of it was like my first Bark River, what we normally call like a grail.
Yeah.
But I've bought a few since then, and I just figured, since we were talking about like military knives and everything I read on those did bring back to Marine recon units, and I'm not sure what year that was, but it was after Mike Stewart was with Marbles and then Blackjack, and then he started his own operation up there in Escanaba, Michigan. So, but yeah, I just thought I would show that one there.
Yeah,
I like my Bark Rivers.
Bark River is cool. I don't own any of their knives, but I sure love to look at them.
Yeah, they're just beautiful, beautiful knives, and they are very, very pricey. But I mean, quality and they're worth it. Don't get me wrong. I think that they're worth every nickel, but they're just so pricey. You can't get into one of them under. I mean, for a decent one, you can't get into one of them under $300.
Well, Pete, surprisingly, that one there with the liners from DLT, $275, I think.
Okay.
So it's not. I mean, it's the handles. Yeah. It's honestly, if you go with the green and the black is about $10 cheaper, but it's honestly the handle material that they use. But if you can get into a micarta version, it very affordable, And I've only got one with good handles, and that's that ultralight bushcrafter. I got that in elk stag.
Yes.
But it's a smaller knife. It was, let me get it here. But it was honestly with the elk stag, I think this one was $270 as well, but it's just a smaller blade.
Yes.
But,
yes.
I have, DLT, you build them rewards points. So if you want to upgrade
Right.
your handle, it's basically the same price as the other one. So
But you can see how much the quality and the fit and finish on them guys. Look how beautiful that thing is.
yeah.
It's-
The only thing when I bought this, I don't know if I should tell this, but I bought this knife and it come without an edge. It wasn't sharp when I received it. So, but I did a video of me sharpening it. It was a terrible video, but
I think you said that you
I
talked.
put a
Yeah.
But
We
I
got
put a convex edge on it.
Yes,
We got
that's
a,
right. The convex edge. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that on pretty much every knife they make, that convex grind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just watched Apostle P has a great video on how to do that. So what I practiced that convex edge on was this. I got this at an estate sale. This is an old marbles.
Man.
And what I did was I practiced, and this knife, it didn't look nothing like this when I bought it. But I practiced and I put a convex edge on this blade first. This will slice. It don't even look like it has an edge, but this will take hair off your arm. It'll go right through a piece of telephone book paper, no problem.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you master getting that convex edge down, and all I use is like a drywall block sander. I put it upside down in a vise, and then I drag the knife myself, just like Apostle P does. But I just do it at my workbench with that thing in a vise, so it kind of stays still for me.
Awesome.
Interesting. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do not own any knives with the convex edge or grind.
Yeah, Gruggs is asking Isaac if you could show your LT right when it's your turn, if you have that handy.
I do have that handy. I came prepared. I got a whole side table here.
You're ready. Yeah.
Nice.
To chat about. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
if
so
you wanna see
you
LT
guys heard it. If anybody in the chat wants Isaac to show a knife, if you know what he's got, go ahead and call it out.
Even if I don't have it on the table, they're not too far away.
Right on.
So to start off here, I'm a huge history buff. Love history, any kind of history. Lately, the past few years, I've been focused on United States history, and I also love survival. And listen to a podcast called the Survival Show Podcast. The host, his name's David. He has a YouTube channel, Ultimate Survival Tips. Not super active anymore, but he was pretty popular for a good bit and did a ton of knife reviews. And it's also was co-hosted by a guy named Craig Caudle, who is the owner director of Nature Reliance School in Kentucky. It's like a survival bushcraft school you can go take courses from. And he did some podcast episodes about a frontiersman on the American frontier. His name is Simon Kenton. If you've never heard of him, you're not alone. He's not too popular in our history books these days. He was kind of lost from history unless you're really into the 18th century frontier.
Right.
But it turns out Simon Kenton was born just about 2, 3, 4 miles down the road, straight over that way in the mountains over here by my house in Virginia.
Wow.
And he made a name for himself in what we now know as the state of Kentucky, which was the western frontier of the United States at the time. And he became, friends with his more famous counterpart, Daniel Boone, and even saved his life a couple of times during the American Revolution. Out there on the western frontier, the Revolution, it wasn't all the British soldiers and Continental Army all lined up and shooting at each other. It was Indians, the Shawnee tribe predominantly, that were allied with the British attacking American settlers out there in Kentucky. And a lot of these long hunter guys carried knives like this, nice long blade. This is I think 6 3/4 inches long. It's a 12-inch overall knife. And this was designed by Craig Caudle from Nature Reliance School, because he loves that history. He lives in Kentucky, and I'm glad that he got my interest in that history. There's a great book you can read.
Yeah.
Simon Kenton and others on the frontier called The Frontiersman. It's by an author named Alan Eckert. And so much stuff that happened during that time period. And I just had to have this knife.
Man.
He got it made by LT Wright Knives, which is a fantastic company.
Oh.
They're well known for making high quality knives.
Oh, yes, they are.
Mostly bushcraft knives. If you watch like this series Alone on History Channel, you can see a lot of LT Wright blades used by the people on that show. He makes a lot of knives in like A2 tool steel. Yes. This is made in AEBL stainless steel.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not something you see too often.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
That is just a wonder. That is just a beautiful piece. I've never seen the shape is so unique.
Yes, so it's designed after the long knives carried by hunters on the American frontier, because they needed that knife for a lot of things. They needed it for woodscraft. They needed it to process game. Wow. And they needed it for self-defense. So it's the original multi-tool right here.
Boy, oh boy. And what's that? What is that again?
This is called the Shamanese.
The Shamanese?
Yes. Now, back to the story from history, that name Shamanese is the Shawnee word for long knives. That is what they called the frontiersmen, because they all carried these big knives. You know, guys like that Simon Kenton, Daniel Boone, there's another guy pretty popular from the Revolution, George Rogers Clark.
Yeah.
All these guys carried these long knives because they needed that. They used this for everything. This one is Craig Cottle, the designer, is a big hunter. He hunts deer all the time, and he uses this for field to table, processing deer. It's a long knife, but it's only 1/8 of an inch thick.
Okay, yeah,
not really thick, so it's a great for slicing meat.
Great slicer, yeah.
It's got, you can probably tell it's got this upward cant.
Yeah,
he designed that to go up, the belly of the deer, so that the tip is pointed up, so you don't nick anything bad that you don't want.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's also curved like that because he trained in martial arts for many years, and Filipino fighting knives have a cant in the blade like that for slicing. So yeah, this is an awesome knife.
Just very nice knife, man. Very, very interesting and very unique piece you have there. I've never seen anything like it, and that's a very fantastic piece you have there, Isaac.
They're very limited in production. You can only buy them from naturereliance.org. That's Craig's website. They do very limited runs of them. So, have to maybe sign up for an alert on their website.
Yeah, really. Wow. Thanks for showing that one.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony, he said he wanted to see some traditional stuff that we're carrying. So like that, cracker that you have during a buffet or a course, to kind of clear the palate. Let's get off of the big bruisers. I'll show you. Still, my favorite knives and talking about skinning things and stuff is still this good old yellow trapper.
There it is. Absolutely.
I've been carrying this thing since I got it. This is the one in the carbon steel. It's been my daily carry for I've had this thing now, I guess, about 5 or 6 weeks, and I forget to carry other knives because I put it in this little sheath, this little open top sheath.
Yes.
And I'll just have it, on my jeans, and I'll just grab that all the time. And of course, I have still the one that Pete that you gifted.
There
me.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely. You knew I was going to show it.
What are those scales?
I can't have you on and not show it.
Yeah.
And here's your good old spay blade.
Oh boy,
so everybody can love it. But what a beautiful knife this is.
It really is. I'm looking at the color. The color looks beautiful through the screen.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. And
Yeah.
it's just a fantastic knife. Thank you again, Pete. That was,
You're quite
that
welcome.
was so awesome. I have
Yeah.
another
What
blue
are those
bone
scales
one here. That this is another one that was sent to me. This is the one with the Freemasons.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
So yeah, so it's got the etch on the blade saying "in search of more light," and really
yeah.
a great action on this one. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know if you can hear it when it locks up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Oh yeah.
really nice pull on it. But just some pretty traditionals. So there you go, Tony. I hope that helps. Let's go see Tom. He asked what traditionals you might have real quick. So let's see.
RJ, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to visit the bathroom real fast.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
this was an honor of Pete.
Tell him I said hi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, Pete's
While you're
leaving.
visiting.
I know Pete likes canoes, so I just thought I'd break out. These are the imported canoes from Buck, and this has got the jig bone to it. And then the one in the standard wood grain. And then they just came out, and as far as I know, that it's only available on the Buck website. And it's got the burl wood covers inlays to them.
Nice.
So I just thought I'd show those
Yeah.
real
Very
quick.
cool.
Yeah, like I have the Buck canoe. I got it at Walmart for like $11.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got there, Big J.
This is my favorite traditional pattern. This is a muskrat. This is a 1977 case cigar, just a little cigar jack knife. It's got one little flaw in the handle, but this right here is what really turned me on to cigar style blades. And back to what RJ was showing with the yellow carbon steel trapper.
Yeah.
I got to give a big shout out to Doom Crew, because if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have those.
Absolutely.
So thanks to Doom Crew on that deal. I was actually talking to him earlier today as I was working out, and we communicate a little bit here and there. And I want to show this one to Thrifty. I think he has this knife. This is the Bone Stag Barlow, Case Barlow. I think that this is probably a 2019 model, I believe.
Yeah, I think that was the vault pattern that year. In
So
2019. Yeah.
This knife
Yes.
right here, people talk about Cases QC, but this knife right here is mint. So
Yeah.
I think he has that same blade though.
Yep.
I have that one, Big J. That's like RJ said, that was the vault release. So
Gotcha.
2019.
I picked mine up at a yard sale.
Oh, you did?
No, flea market.
Wow.
Flea market. Got
If
it
you
at a
got
flea
it for
market.
$5, I'm gonna be mad.
Very nice.
You're Mr. $5 deal, man. And I'm like, I'm not getting those. And
Yeah. Me and Doom Crew talk about that. We got to be thrifty, and we hate to steal Thrifty's name, but we search for the deal. You got to.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
What you got, Isaac?
This is also a case trapper.
Nice.
Trapper is my favorite traditional pattern. I love case knives. I don't know if you saw my hat.
Oh, yeah, man. I was eyeballing that hat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was
This
thinking I
one,
needed one.
this one they came out with in the fall. I know. I wish I had more light in front of me, but it's the brown burlap micarta, just like you saw earlier in my Buck Sprint Pro, and also that LT Wright knife. So I love that handle material. It looks cool. This one is a Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive. They made this an actual 1095 steel. A true designation, not the mystery CV steel or true sharp stainless.
That's the real deal there.
Yeah. So actually a real designation of steel. And, the trapper pattern, it's just, it's not something that's huge like their folding hunter, and not too small, like a little 2-inch blade, like Big J showed a little bit ago. But I love the size of the trapper. I think it's like a 3 1/4-inch blade, maybe, but definitely, you get a nice full grip on the trapper, and it's
Absolutely.
just my favorite traditional
I don't know why more people don't like the trapper pattern. Just a lot of people are not into the trappers. I don't know why, but I love them.
Yeah, I know Case makes a trapper in pretty much every every new series of handle
Yeah,
material they come out with.
Well, I think the reason that they do make it is because, you have this big frame, so you can
Yeah.
put a lot of cover material on there, so that makes it good. But the biggest thing I ever hear about it is people either don't like double-bladed traditional, or they don't see any use for a spay blade. That they just don't like that for whatever reason.
Right.
But let's see what you.
I love a spay blade. I love it.
I do too. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, Big J, let's see what you got. You're muted, son. we can't hear you. Hello.
Oh, sorry.
I'm wearing off on you.
There you go.
Blame me.
I figure since Isaac likes the case knives, I found this one here at a flea market. Now I did have to pay a little bit for it, but it's a 20 through 40 case tested Barlow, and it just it's
yeah. Listen to that.
Yeah, it didn't look like this when I got it. Again, it had a big dent right here that I had to sharpen it out. But the guy bought it off. I was like, "You ain't gonna mess with that, are you?" It's like I got to make it usable. And I actually sent Jo Ventures Outdoors Barlow, the same size, just a newer model, and he's going to be making me a slip so I can actually carry this once in a while if I'm ever feeling up to it. So my wife's killing me because people are offering me big money for that knife, and I won't sell it. So
yeah, I remember you saying that. Yes.
Yeah. I should have never put that on the Case Facebook page.
Yeah. Yeah.
You live and learn.
That's right. Yeah. Oh.
Big
Okay,
Thrifty's ready.
You ready, John? It looks like
Yes,
you're
sir.
all queued up.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Terry Schneider. I don't know that he's in the chat right now, but along with, I believe Tom got one of these as well. And they've got different stamps that they put in each one of them that they gave away. But this is a great knife for toothpick pattern, and it's side sheath, side slip. And they designed it for a toothpick. I'm gonna have to loosen it up because this is just way too tight to fit in there. Maybe water fitted or whatever to stretch it out a little bit. But just want to give a great big shout out to Jo and Terry Schneider for making that and just send it along. He really didn't have to do that. He's just so generous.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you
really
guys
is.
know, you're familiar with Jo's work. He's been getting better and better with everything that he's been making, and this is really good quality stuff right here.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. I have I have a couple of his earlier pieces when he first started, and from looking at the pieces that I have now to that, the newer stuff is just like unbelievable.
John,
Yes, sir.
since you're there with the close up, I think there was a question in the chat where somebody was saying they weren't familiar with the term walk and talk, but that they keep hearing it. So I figured you were probably really good because you feature the walk and talk on your channel every knife review. So I thought this might be a good opportunity to illustrate that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So a walk and talk, all that is the open and close of a knife. And we call the walk the open and the talk the close, or maybe I've got that backwards. Maybe somebody can correct me.
You're right, John.
That's
Yep.
right.
And it's just the amount of, spring tension on the knife as you're opening it, and the snap on the close, the lockup. It's just sort of a universal way of describing the open and close of the knife. And so some will have a half stop. This particular knife does not have a half stop. Let me show you a knife that does have a half stop. So there is your half stop walk and talk. Nice snap, 90-degree close. So we talk sometimes about the amount of tension, and we give it kind of a number. I think a 7 is kind of the ideal strength to have for most knives, especially in this size. Now, as you get to smaller knives, you might have a smaller knife with a lower number. usually not a big deal, but the larger you get with the blade, the kind of the more important the stiffness is to the open. And I would call this copperhead here as an example, like the perfect or ideal type of walkie talk. It's got about a 7 on each of the 90-degree points. So 7 to this point, 7 to this point, and then a really good, nice active snap on the close. If you can hear that.
Really
and sometimes on my videos, and I'm sure people make fun of me, I just kind of give everybody an opportunity to listen to it, because it kind of gives you the best concept of how much the pull's working. So I'll just do that now. There you go. Walk and talk.
Really nice.
Very good.
Really.
Thank you, John, for doing that.
Yes, sir. Very satisfying. It's very satisfying sound.
Yes, it is.
All right, we got Tom is ready to go.
Well, a couple things here. Everyone was showing trappers. This is a Case Slimline trapper, single blade. And I think I showed this last week, but it's came out this year. It's part of the Ictus collection, so it has the Christian fish symbol there. This is in the smooth purple curly maple. And so one more addition to my Ictus collection. Has a really nice clip point blade to it. I can't do it as good as TK, but there was the talk to it.
You did it fine.
And here's the sheath made by J.O. that Terrell commissioned to have sent to me, and this one, of course, has a buck on it. I don't know why he'd put a buck on it, but he did. But this slimline trapper fits in there really well. You just can't push it in too far. But so that was the trapper I wanted to show, because it is new to me this year. Just got it 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then someone in the comments wanted to see something over 50, a case knife over 50 years old. I think I've got one here. This is a special knife here. This was my grandfather's Stockman. And at Thanksgiving this year, we were sitting down at the dinner table, and my aunt said, "I have something for you." And she had something closed in her fist, and she handed it to me. And it was my grandpa's knife.
Wow.
And I did do a video cleaning it all up and got it all polished up. But this was made based on the tang stamp, made between 1940 and 1964. So it has, synthetic covers, jigged. And it's the pattern 6318 HP. So this is really special to actually have something that my grandfather owned and used.
Very nice, Tom.
He was a farmer.
Yeah.
That thing's in great shape for the age.
It does look great.
Yep. So there you go. There's, I think, something more than I'm not good at math, but I think that's over 50 years old.
Yeah, I think so. I don't have anything that's that old. My oldest case knife that I have is from '89. I'll just show it real quick, Isaac, and I'll get to you.
No problem.
Yeah. So, and it's just one of the little pen knives that they had, but it's got a unique main blade because it's already at an angle. And so it's got the synthetic jig handle, but just a kind of a cool little thing because when you hold it in your hand, it's already ready to go rip open a box or something like that. I haven't seen this style blade on there, and I don't know if they don't make it anymore or not. And then it's just got the little quill knife blade here. So that's my oldest one, but that's from '89. So let's go see what you got, Isaac.
All right. So this is a Case fixed blade that it's half over 50 years old. So the blade is from 1969. My dad got this knife when he turned 12 years old for hunting. And he had this knife for years. And leather stacked handle on it had it was crumbling away. And I sent this into Case last year to see if they might be able to repair it. And it was fully covered under Case's warranty. They put a brand new leather stacked handle on my dad's old knife for no charge.
Wow.
Covered under their lifetime warranty. But this blade here from 1969.
Wow.
Pretty neat.
That's something.
They still sell this model knife. They call it the 5-inch utility. So you can get that. This sheath I had, this is not the original sheath. They sent this along as well because my dad's original sheath was a bit messed up too, because he said this knife was so sharp when he got it, he put it in the sheath and the knife just went right out through it.
Wow. My.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So this is that blade there is well over 50 years old. You can hardly see it in person, so it's not going to show up on the camera, but it says tested XX razor edge right here on the bevel there.
That's awesome.
That's a great knife. Great knife.
Very nice.
Very nice.
We got it for rabbit hunting.
That will do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Tony, we'll see you. Okay, Big J, I see you got something.
It's over 50 years old. It's a 65 through 69 toothpick. And it's got phenomenal walk and talk.
Yeah,
And this thing
Very cool.
is razor sharp.
Wow.
It will get you. But if we look, the scales, this red bone scales are just in phenomenal condition. And this was the second knife I got at the yard sale up the street for $5. It didn't look like this when I got it, but after I cleaned it up, I took it back up there and showed him what a knife can be. It only takes 10 minutes to clean these things up a little bit, and it just kills me when this thing had like bright red rust on it and stuff, and just around into it, and it's in. Look at the blade. The blade is still full there. It's got plenty of
brand
life
new.
in it.
Yeah.
So
People just don't know what they have, They don't realize.
Yeah, great yard sales by your place.
I'll tell you. Man.
When I seen those two knives on that table, and the buck was 10, and then he had a barrel of like $5 ones, and that case was in the $5. When I opened it up, I seen what it was. I about had a heart attack, and the money flew out of my pocket. Of course, I talked him down the buck to $5. So you got a wheel and deal.
Oh yeah, sure. You got to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just takes a couple of minutes to clean them up, guys.
That's right.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah. I wanted to pull this one out at where it's moving back from the traditionals that we've been showing, but this is a Case knife. They came out with these not too long ago. It's called the Marilla. It's a flipper knife.
I have the older flipper one. Yes, very great knife. Yes,
got a black G10 inlay here. Makes for a real nice grip. It's the handle ergonomics are real good. It's got an aluminum frame. The S35 VN steel. Great size and shape. So
really nice.
Yeah,
really
real great knife from Case.
Did you see my older flipper like that? The one I showed it a couple times. I don't know if you saw it or not. It's the Tanto Point one.
Okay, the Kinzua, I think.
No,
or was it older than that? It's one of the Southern Grind.
Yeah, the Southern Grind one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are kind of faded out of production relatively fast. I don't know why.
Yes.
And they're trying to market these as like the first modern stuff that Case has produced. But it's like that wasn't that long ago that those Southern Grind collaborations were out. So I don't know what you're talking about, Case.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they also released another modern one. It was before this, but after Southern Grind, it was a modern flipper iteration of their shark tooth pattern.
Yes.
If you guys know those, they have some lockback versions of some other sharks, like the Hammerhead and the Mako, and Shark Tooth was one of them. And they made a modern one. I think they only produced it for like a year or something.
Yeah, you're right. You're
off. Now now they've been making these for I think 2 years now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It looks like Tom's got a knife.
Yeah.
That
I
looks
think
I think
John
DK's
was
ready.
Yeah, John was ready first, so I'm going to
John's ready.
move to
Oh,
him.
all righty.
Okay, so we weren't talking about some older knives, and this one was fun for me when I found it. I found this one in a roadside little antique store as I was driving through Oklahoma one day, and I love when I can find knives in little stores on road trips like that, where I can just kind of pop in there, see what they have, and find something great. And this was one time when I did find something really cool. This is actually a Buster Brown knife. And I don't know, you guys, the younger guys, I'm not sure if you'll remember, but there was a shoe store called Buster Brown used to sell these hideous looking shoes. And my mom actually worked in a Buster Brown for a while. She worked.
So if I remember Buster Brown, are you calling me old?
Well,
I remember
say
them. I remember them, Tom.
I remember him too. So
Yep.
we're all old.
Yeah, you probably have gray hair if you remember it. But
I don't have any more hair.
Yeah, well, the hair you have.
I wish I had gray hair.
But my mom she worked at one, and I always had a connection to Buster Brown as a kid, and how much I hated their shoes because they were just really just hideous looking shoes. And you'd have to go to church, so I always associate with having to go to church with having to wear these shoes. So I just really had a dislike of Buster Brown. But when I found this, I just had to chuckle. Now Buster Brown didn't actually make this. This was made by probably Camillus or somebody like that, another OEM. But it's just a older utility knife. I think probably from the 30s, 40s, somewhere in that time frame. Got this beautiful long nail nick, but I've always enjoyed those really long nail nicks on knives like that.
Yeah.
And beautiful carbon patina on there, on the blades. But my favorite part about it is the can opener that they have on these, and it's a real trick to get out. Here we go. I got it. But the older style can opener.
Oh
style.
yeah.
Oh wow, that's a cool shape. I'm not familiar with them to look like that.
Yeah, this cigar shape and wood handle. So some kid probably really enjoyed this, and I'm pretty sure if they're still alive, they've got gray hair. So
Yeah.
there you have it. It's one of my oldest knives in my collection. Really cherish it.
That's fantastic.
Okay, we'll go to Tom, but in between that, Gary was asking if anybody is going to buy the new Case Westline. It's a new modern folder that they're coming out with in 2023 with the S35 VN steel.
Yeah, I think it's an assisted opening. Personally, I saw it. I was not a fan.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it yet. I don't.
We'll bust out a phone or something and take a look at it real quick.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I don't plan on buying one, but
What, Tom? I'm shocked.
That
Hold
tells
on,
you
maybe
everything
I'm
you
standing
know.
myself.
maybe 50 years from now, when it's a classic knife, maybe I'll think about it.
Yeah.
So this is a case knife without it being a case knife, and I've shown this before, but this is a kinfolk's knife. And Kinfolks was started by cousins of the Case family, Dean and Russ Case. And the reason they started Kinfolks is they was helping the Case brothers or Case and Sons keep up with their fixed blade knife production. They produced a lot of cutlery for World War II. Let me see here. Yeah, they supplied fighting knives and the M4 bayonet during World War II. In 1957, because of some labor issues, they closed the plant down, and Robeson Cutlery actually bought out Kinfolks, and Robeson was another Case. So, I mean, the Case family had deep tentacles everywhere.
Neat.
Then Robeson went out of business, and I think Case has bought the name back and has issued some Kinfolks knives under that Tang stamp. I don't know if you can see the Tang stamp or not. No, it's not going to show it well. but it came out with a really fancy sheath too. Look at the
Oh, that's
scrolling in
nice.
it.
That's very nice.
So I don't know for sure how old this knife is. I don't know if this was done by Robeson or if this was actually done by Kinfolks. I think it's a Kinfolks knife, but the original. So at any rate, I believe it to be over 50 years old.
Okay, Gary
Looks
called you
great.
out. You want to know why you won't buy the modern case knife, but you just bought a modern buck knife?
I was just going to say, you know how many years it's been since I bought a modern folding knife? You know, I finally arrived in 2023, but I've been here. I don't like it. I'm going back.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, let's see what we got here. It looks like we got Big J is queued up. We got Isaac is queued up.
I say let Pete go. Pete ain't showed a knife yet, I don't think.
Okay. All right, Pete. Show us what you got, and then we'll get her. Oh, thank you, Bobo. Thank you very much for the super chat. Go ahead, Pete.
Okay. Hold on a minute. Let me figure this out. This is just a very, very special knife to me. This was gifted to me along with a couple other YouTubers. There was a gentleman that used to do YouTube, and he went by the name of the EDC Den. His name was Sean. And he wanted to gift us a few people. He picked a few people to gift a few knives to, and I was fortunate enough to be one of those people. I do believe Gary from the Last Rangers, he got a wonderful fixed blade from him. You could either get a fixed blade or a folder. I received the folder, but this is a Grossman, if I'm saying it right. It's a Grossman. Can you wait a minute? Groman. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes, Groman. And this little jackknife is one of the knives that I cherish very much. I just love the fit and finish of this. I just love everything about this little jackknife, and it's so well constructed. It's really nothing special. As a matter of fact, he said that it was a factory second. But it's just a fantastic little knife. The covers on it are very well. The whole knife is very well done. The fixed blades are also fantastic. So what I'm trying to say is if you can get a Groman knife, they're out of, wait a minute, where are they from?
From Canada. Yeah.
I mean, they are fantastic pieces of cutlery. And it fits in the hand real well. And I just figured I'd show you guys this piece. And also, I miss Sean from the EDC Den. Do you guys remember him?
Oh, yeah.
I remember him. I just don't know where he went.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'll see if I can contact him. I have his personal information, so I'll reach out to him. I'll see what he's up to. Who knows? He might even show up on the live stream someday.
Yeah, that'd be, he was a really, really nice guy. He really was.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We'll go to Big J and then Isaac and then you, Tom. How's that? Okay.
Sounds good.
We were just showing old knives, and this is another one I picked up. This is old Rogers Bone Camelus 4 tang, or 4-line tang. So this was probably given out to Army engineers. This is probably a pre-43 knife. And I want to show this because of the lobster claw can opener. I mean, if we look at that, I mean, this knife has beautiful walk and talk, but this thing will bite you. I mean, it's borderline dangerous to get your hand anywhere near it. But this is another one that I picked up. And after I found out what it was, I cleaned it up and I took it back to the lady who sold it to me. after I cleaned it up, and I offered to give it back to her just because of the meaning behind the knife. And I asked her, hey, was your father in the military? And she said yes. And I said, well, here, I want to give this back to you in good working order, cleaned up. And she refused to take it and said, it sounds like that knife's in the perfect hands. But if we look, the USA, well, from what the research I did, it doesn't stand for United States of America, it stands for United States Army. But this knife means quite a bit to me, just for the story behind it. And she is kind of a family friend. And when she didn't want to take it back and said that it sounds like it's in the right hands, that really meant a lot to me. So, and another reason you can tell it's probably pre-43 is it's got brass liners. After the war started, they moved from brass to steel liners. So,
nice, very cool knife, very cool story.
Yeah,
that's real cool.
Yeah,
I'm sure the brass was needed for shell casings.
Yep.
Yeah, real neat. I wanted to piggyback off of what Tom was saying a little while ago about the Robeson knife that he pulled out and showed us. That was pretty cool history there, and how they were connected to Case. So I wanted to pull out you might tell it's a K-bar knife, and the guys that started K-bar I think around 1898, back then they were Union Cutlery. They were actually related to the Case family as well. So there's a lot of connections up there in the knife industry in northern Pennsylvania and southern New York I just thought that was really cool and wanted to bring that to note that they're all cousins and such up there making knives. Huge family business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that Groman knives, I'm familiar with that company that Jersey Knife guy was showing. I think that they're popular for making the Canadian belt knife.
The Canadian belt knife. That's the one that he issued to a few other people. That's a fantastic fixed blade. Yes.
Yeah. One of the few things you see coming out of Canada.
Right. You're on your game over there, Isaac. You're on your game. I'll give you that, man. You're on it.
Shows how many hours I spend watching knife videos on YouTube.
I hear you. I know it. I think, we're all in the same boat, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, look what Tom has.
Yeah, Big J, you and I were on the same page. I when we were talking old knives, I thought of the old knife opener. This happens to be a Remington, and it's an actual Remington UMC knife pre-1940. I think this is 1938.
Oh,
So
cool.
it is a Boy Scout knife. It's in kind of rough shape, but still a good representation. And something interesting about Remington, I do have a book on Remington knives, and they said that with their Scout knives, they always basically sold them at cost to Boy Scouts because they wanted every boy to have a knife. So supposedly they didn't profit off of these knives.
Oh, wow.
And I did want to say thanks for that history, Big J, on that particular knife you had. I didn't know anything about that. That is cool.
That is.
And Isaac, the info you gave there on K-Bar, I think I'd heard that once before, but I'd forgotten all about it. I think, and don't hold me on this, but I think I remember reading that the gentleman that went out to Colorado and started Western knives, his wife was a Case. She was like a sister or something. So he was like an in-law to the Cases. I think. Don't hold me to that, but yeah, the Case family.
We'll just say it is. It adds to the story.
Yeah.
The Case family had tentacles everywhere. But,
yeah, that's for sure. They did.
Yeah, that's just a beautiful old knife.
It is. It is.
Very neat.
Yeah.
Very neat. What's next?
Yeah, who's up?
Well, I guess I could throw something up real quick.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about outdoors knives and all that kind of stuff, and especially companies that have tentacles everywhere. How about a nice old timer sharp finger?
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, this is the generational series with the 1095 saw cut bone, mirror polish. But you can't think of an outdoors knife without including a Schrade of some type in there.
Yeah,
They're
That looks great. That
Oh,
polish and the handles. That's not the one you buy for $18 at Walmart.
no. This is a generational one made in the U.S. and it's at a premium price, but it's definitely, I think, worth it for what you're going to get. You know, like I said, mirror polish, $10.95. The saw cut bone. It's definitely a very cool knife.
Yeah, it is.
And Baron's son are making
out,
those, right?
Who
Baron's
is?
son?
Yeah, I think Baron's son is making the USA ones.
Yep.
But since
Oh,
we're
really?
pulling out the big outdoor knives earlier and the military type knives, John liked it when I took this as my desert island knife. The Cold Steel Recon Tanto.
Oh, there you go.
Great.
Oh man.
So that's a big heavy hitter for
Ooh.
you're going to the jungle or something. You'll be set with this. Don't leave it. Just don't leave it at night. You'll never find it.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Oh man.
All right. Looks like Tom's got something a little more civilized.
A little more civilized.
A little more civilized.
Absolutely. This is a medical knife. Now, this is a doctor's knife. The knife itself is not old, but I think the pattern is. I have not done the research on when this pattern came out. I'm hoping it's not just some sort of modern invention, but so it's got this very great long and narrow drop point or spear point blade to it, green bone. And this is one of the imported bucks. Just a gorgeous knife, though.
Yeah, it is. Real
And
nice.
they come in one or two bladed, so you can get just like the knife blade, or to be a real doctor's knife. And they do have half stops. You've got the spatula here.
Yeah,
So
very
the
cool.
spatula was used for counting pills and things like that. You'd use it as a tongue depressor. What's interesting is how the springs wrap around. Let me get that in there. See if I can point here. Do you see how those springs come down and close that off?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
because it was a squared off end, and they would use this to mash pills and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
For like a mortar and pedal. And that would keep the oil and dirt and everything else from getting down into the bottom of the knife.
Very
So
nice.
this one is in green bone, and this one is in brown bone. And there's
Real-
a lot of companies that make these. Case has made some in the past. I think Rough Rider makes them. Marbles might make them, but they're just a cool knife pattern, I thought.
That is, Tom.
Yeah, those are cool. That's neat about the pommel on the end for crushing up medicine.
Yeah,
Right.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
Purpose-driven functional design.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, we're on me. Yeah, I was going to pull out this as an outdoor knife. This is the Emerson Knives Market Skinner. It's basically a folding butcher knife, kind of modeled after the knives of the mountain men and the buffalo hunters of the 19th century. So it's got that, if anybody has the old hickory butcher knife, this is basically a folding version of that. It's a very similar blade shape. It's got that nice big belly on it. So it's an awesome slicer. Emerson is known for tactical knives, but he's an outdoorsman and a hunter himself. So he designed a few hunting knives, and this being one of them. And I just fell in love with the blade shape on this, and
Really nice. Yeah.
got his wave opening feature, so you can whip it out of your pocket real quick if need be. Fantastic handle ergonomics, and you use the wave as a thumb ramp too. But I mean, you can reach over it, cut like that. Man, this knife has become a real favorite.
That is a really nice piece. Yes, for sure. Emerson makes some nice knives. I've always wanted to try one, but never got my hands on one.
You will not be disappointed. I mean, I love Emerson knives. His handle ergonomics make it feel like every single knife was made for your hand.
Aren't they all chisel ground too?
No. To say so, he has some that are chisel ground, meaning that a bevel is only ground on one side of the blade and the other is just a flat piece of steel.
Right.
But his CQC7 knife is like that, very, very popular one. But most of them are V ground, meaning that the primary bevel is ground on both sides of the blade. However, he puts a chisel edge on. So the secondary bevel cutting edge is just on this side of the blade. Yeah. Emerson has become a real favorite of mine. He's Ernie Emerson. He's just good people. And I even wrote him a letter last year, and he signed a picture.
You.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's fantastic, man. You're all in it, man. Good for you, brother. Good for you.
That's
brother.
great.
love it,
man.
Yeah.
You should do more. You should do more videos than what you do, man. You don't put out that many videos. You should do more content.
Well, I will take that to heart.
Yes, man, for sure. You got your stuff together over there, man. You got to bring your knowledge to the community.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah, definitely educate us.
Oh yeah.
Well, you might get tired of hearing me talk about Green River knives, but just to piggyback on Isaac, I challenged the thought that everybody in the West had Bowie knives. The records don't indicate that. They had what was, like he said, the old hickory butcher knife.
Yep.
That was what most guys carried. That's what they could afford. And it was lightweight. They couldn't afford big, heavy-duty Bowie knives. Although they existed, most men did not have them. And these are, you can see 3 Green River blades stuck into that war club right there. And the Green River blades were very popular with the natives. And of course, the trading posts would get them in. They'd come in a cask of however many. They didn't have sheaths, so they would trade them to the Indians. And then here, just real quick, I mean, there's some actual Green River knives.
Oh.
And you see they were really worn down.
Oh, yeah.
But the average man had nothing more than what was a glorified butcher knife, just like the old hickory knives are today. So I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, I would agree, man. That's the knife of the mountain man. That's what Jed Smith and those guys carried. Not necessarily this, not necessarily the Bowie. Like the Bowie knife is, while of course they historically existed, but they're American mythology for the most part. Jim Bowie himself was really only ever in one knife fight.
Wow. Huh.
But it was a big one. It made the paper.
It's gone down in the history books, that's for sure.
They don't know exactly what his knife looked like.
There you go, Pete.
That is correct.
I want to touch on these knives for a little bit. They're not much talked about when it comes to fixed blades. These are Battle Horse knives. And again, they're not very much talked about at all, but they are constructed they are all handmade by a gentleman, all produced in the United States, made out of 01 tool steel. And you don't hear too much of 01 tool steel anymore. But Battle Horse Knives does all of their fixed blades in 01 tool steel. And the construction on these knives are absolutely fantastic. The construction on these knives are just second to none for being all handmade. You can see the if I could get that, the handles are just they're just really, really fantastic knives. got a large collection of these because I'm just a fan of them, and I think they're fantastic knives.
They make great knives. I don't own any, but I'm very, very familiar with their company.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Ohio.
Oh,
Yeah, they're all there's a bit of a story there. Going back probably a decade, they used to be blind horse knives.
correct.
And then the two owners split, and one of them, I forget the guy's name who does Battle Horse, but then the other guy, part of Blind Horse Knife, is LT Wright.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. Yes, thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah.
I got my first one last week.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I was just showing that I just bought my first Battle Horse. A guy I played ball with back in high school. We grew up about an hour south of where these are made, and he asked me if I ever knew about them. And after buying a few Bark Rivers, I thought I'll try my hand at one of these. And man, I picked this thing up. Pete told me, he said, Jerry, you're going to be really impressed, even with the sheath and the knife itself. I mean, the maker's mark is in the sheath, and it has that nice, clean stamp maker's mark in the blade.
Yeah.
Just a clean and it feels. I'm going to tell you, I own a few Bark Rivers, and you pick this thing up, and it just feels indestructible. I'm going to beat the mortal sense out of this thing.
Yeah.
So
That looks like a nice thick blade stock in that.
yeah, it's actually 0.1. They advertise it as 0.157, which is the same width as the Bark River Gunny, and I'm real familiar because I got two Gunnies, so I'm real familiar with that size. But I wanted to go Scandi because the only Scandi knife I really have is the more basic 511. So I wanted something different. Usually all my knives are green when I get my Carta.
Yeah,
and they're usually I like just a flat ground. But I figure I'll try Scandi and something different, a different collar, a different grind, and see what happens. And then just beat it to death and do videos on it.
And I'll tell you what, too, Jay, it'll hold up. You won't have no fear of it holding anything happening to it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
All right, Tom, you're next.
I just thought I'd bring out another old knife. This is a Remington UMC knife. This is the RH-28. If you can see that Remington tang stamp on there, the Remington UMC. This was made between 1938 and 1940. It's not the original handle on it. Originally, they had Bakelite handles on them. But you know how Bakelite is. It gets old and dries out and can crumble. So somebody fashioned a really nice handle, a wood handle there.
Wow.
It's got a really nice pommel to it. It's got
Really
jimping
nice.
across the top. And it's been used through the years, but it's got an interesting sheath here. I don't know if somebody decorated that themselves because there's some initials down in here. I can't make it out, but the snap up here does say Remington on it. So
I think the initials on there are RJ. You need to.
No.
Yeah. That's what I think.
I don't think so. So not only is it a classic old knife, but it's kind of neat how somebody got it modded and repaired and back. I've taken this out camping a couple times and used it. So
It's got a nice blade shape on it, Tom. Very nice.
It really
blade
does.
shape.
It does.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
love
nice.
that blade shape too.
It's
Good, nice
very
wedge
similar
on
to a
top.
Marbles Expert.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of thought jimping was a newer thing in knives, but
No.
how old you say that thing was?
This model was made between 38 and 40.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very good.
Here's one I always like to show. Whenever I put this on a video, it gets a decent amount of views. This is the Winkler field knife.
That's my grandma. I was just talking about that.
I was gonna say you're killing Pete. You're killing him.
Oh, man, I have that on my list.
That's not fair, Isaac. It's not fair.
Yeah, this is a prized possession for sure. I'm sure you guys probably know Winkler knives are quite expensive. And I really wanted one, and I got this for my birthday, where literally all of my family, like my parents, my in-laws, and everybody pitched in to get this for me.
Oh man, God bless you.
And yeah, if this is a Grail knife, you need to maybe sell some stuff and get one of these, because
I saw yes. Oh man.
Yeah, they're not going to make these for a while now, from what Mr. Winkler himself told me.
Oh really? Oh my.
Yeah, they're going to introduce some new models this year, I guess, and this one is being retired.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they are not on the Winkler Knives website right now, but you could still find them through some dealers. Ridge Runner Knives is a big Winkler dealer. That's actually where this one came from. If you want to check there, or there is a couple on Amazon.
Yeah.
But this is an awesome knife.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Love the design. It's just super unique.
Oh man.
Perfect size. I think for me, it's a 5 3/4 inch blade.
Gary from the Last Rangers has both of them. He has both models.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a big fan of those Winkler knives as well.
Yeah. This is a great knife. I sort of started a series of videos on my channel called Knives with a Story, and this is the first one I posted.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah, it's unique to me because I got this for my birthday, which is August 6th. And this knife is based off of a custom hand-forged knife that Daniel Winkler made for a Navy SEAL named Thomas Ratzlaff.
Yeah.
Who was killed in an incident on August 6th, 2011 called Extortion 17, where some terrorists took a pot shot at a Chinook chopper and basically took out an entire team of Navy SEALs.
Wow. That's very interesting. Wow. Man.
So this one is awesome. And man, if people want to just have these, and
I could see you holding it and just looking at your face when you're holding it, I could tell it's a special piece, man. You're like, you're glowing, brother.
Yeah, I love this thing. I mean, it's a do-it-all kind of knife.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Yeah. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Wear it well. Yes, sir.
Mimo, if you're still here, can you throw a link up to Isaac's channel for Mike? And Gary wanted to know if you have any Winkler / Case American Heroes knives.
I do not. So if we're talking Grail knives, the Winkler Skinner.
Oh yes, that's the one.
I would love this knife. I mentioned earlier in the chat here, this guy Kevin Holland. That's him. He's the one who I talked about being issued the Buckmaster. And he designed this knife for this series.
Oh man!
Yeah, he has an awesome story with Daniel Winkler. So Kevin Holland was on SEAL Team 6 in the early 90s, and he saw a movie called Last of the Mohicans, and he liked Tomahawk he saw in that movie, and he stayed through the end credits and found Winkler knives, made the stuff, and he got a combat axe made for him by Daniel Winkler. So it's really cool. Then he got out of the military for several years and then rejoined after 9/11, and he carried that axe on every deployment.
Wow.
Yeah. He was in the Navy SEALs in the early 90s, then got out of the military, then rejoined the local National Guard in North Carolina, and then went to Delta Force.
Wow, very interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, RJ.
Yes, sir.
RJ. Hey, RJ.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to have to get off here. My dog, I got to take care of this dog, but I do appreciate you having me on here. But as you know, my dog's had ACL surgery.
Yeah.
And it's been I've got to get her outside. But I definitely appreciate you offering me to be on here, and it's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah, love to have you come back on anytime.
Man.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Gary.
Nice
Yeah.
to meet everybody. It's
Yeah,
been a
man.
pleasure.
Take
And,
care, buddy.
Thank you all.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you.
Yep.
All right. I might have to cut out in a little
I'm
bit.
probably
here.
gonna,
I
I'm
was
probably
gonna
gonna
say,
have to
we're-
cut out
we're-
soon too
we're right
because
at
I gotta get.
we're
I'm
right
gonna
at the
go to
2
dinner
hour.
with my wife.
Yeah, we're right at the 2-hour mark. I'm thinking this is probably a good a time as any to go ahead and wrap this up.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, this was real fun, guys.
Oh, it was
Thanks for having me.
fantastic. And Isaac, I would highly recommend. People would like to probably see more of your content, buddy. I know I would. I know I would personally by just meeting you now. For the first time. So,
All right.
Nice
We'll
meeting
keep
everyone.
it
Yeah.
going.
yeah, it's good stuff. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, chat, for everyone that participated in that. And thank you again to everybody that's going to watch this later and watch the replay. We appreciate that. Thank you to all you guys, the guests here on the panel. We appreciate you guys so much. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and take this time to say adios. And we
RJ, I want to thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. I really do. And Thrifty, always good seeing you. And it's been a really enjoyable time today, guys.
Yeah, it has. It's
Likewise. Yeah, this was real fun. Thank you.
We've
Yes.
been trying to get you on for a long time, Pete. I'm glad you finally
I
did.
know that. I felt so bad for the longest time, RJ, and I had to make it happen. I think moving forward, better things are gonna. I'll get a little bit more loosened up here.
I think Tom's well lubricated and loosened up. But of course, Tom, you're muted. Tommy the mute.
Tommy the mute.
Oh, man.
Unmute it, Tom.
I just had to say hi, Pete. You big hunk of a guy, you. Oh, you're my dreamboat, Pete. Oh, and these other two handsome fellas you have with you. What's your name? I see Isaac. I see Thrifty. Oh, you fellas. Oh, Night Delights has so much fun talking with you. And I'm just so glad to meet you. Oh, thank you, Jersey. Oh, you're my dreamboat. You said
Oh,
Oh,
man.
man.
I hope everybody got to see that.
That was no, he's a funny man. I'll tell you, man.
We end on a high note there.
Absolutely. Oh man. Okay, guys.
Okay.
All right.
Have
Enjoy
a
the
good
rest of
evening.
your Sunday.
We'll see all you guys.
All right,
Yep,
man.
enjoy yourselves. We'll
Okay.
catch y'all next
See you,
week.
Pete.
Yep, I'll see you, Tom. Thanks for that. Thank you, Tom, for that.
I don't know. Mrs.